Bombshell news is the man who spent 5 years trying to cancel Johnny Depp over baseless accusations is now begging the public not to cancel him. Why? Because he stands accused. Now, you and I, we're going to listen to this together. And remember, he didn't just stand with Amber Heard. Oh, no. He called for the suspension of journalists over rumors and accusations. This is in the last few weeks, by the way. My, how things change, right? Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So hey there, by the way, let's get started.
Britain's News Channel, I'm Dan Wootton, and as a journalist I feel uncomfortable being the story, but I've always promised you that this show has no spin and no bias and no censorship, so I owe it to you to address this. As you probably don't know, hopefully you don't know because you're not insane enough to pay attention to the cesspit of social media, these past few days I have been the target of a smear campaign by nefarious players with an axe to grind. Notably by an ex-partner who I was, and this is something I've never spoken about and it's very difficult to talk about publicly, but who I was previously abused by and who has been on a campaign to destroy my life. In the past, he has written to me confessing to being a, quote, psychopath, and I saw this firsthand when he threatened in writing to, quote, slit my throat, many years after we had broken up. I have been forced to report his behaviour and threats to police. They are now investigating. He has created an untrue story about me and appears to have been working with an organisation who are intent on closing down this channel, whose reporters include a convicted phone hacker. The Guardian has also reported it tonight. What a surprise. Other unspeakable slurs have been made by a convicted extortionist I have never even met, who has a long history of blackmailing gay men and was sent to jail for a number of years by a judge who said his behaviour was, quote, compulsive and provided a high risk to the public. I, like all fallible human beings, have made errors of judgment in the past, but the criminal allegations being made against me are simply untrue. I would like nothing more than to address those spurious claims. I could actually spend the next 2 hours doing so, but on the advice of my lawyers, I cannot comment further. But I have been thinking much over the past few days about the current state of social media, where any allegation can be made in an attempt to get someone cancelled, but it is impossible to defend yourself against thousands of trolls. That said, I am coming on air tonight with a lot of humility too. I think being in the middle of this witch hunt has made me think a lot about the sort of journalist and broadcaster I aspire to be. One focused on the massive political threats facing this country, not on personal attacks. I mean, who doesn't have regrets? Should I be cancelled for them many years later? Or do you accept that I have learned and changed? The last few years, I've grown professionally and personally, and I've also found the meaning of true love after that truly toxic relationship with my ex that hurt me and damaged me. I've found happiness in my personal life with my wonderful boyfriend who is here tonight, my friends and family and my world. The toll that this has taken on their mental health, well, I mean, that is literally killing me to watch. There is a reason why I have since day one on this show had a segment called Uncancelled. Because our rush to judge before due process, thanks in my case to the mad ramblings of highly politicised Twitter trolls and revolting blogs that eschew basic journalistic standards, is destroying democracy. And that's why, by the way, I didn't say a word about Hugh Edwards. Not one word. No tweet was deleted by me, despite the misinformation and lies perpetuated by Carol Vorderman. I didn't know the facts, and I wasn't going to weigh in until I did. I do also note that there are dark forces out to try and take this brilliant channel down. whether it's Nigel's bank account, which we're going to hear about from him soon, Patrick's Twitter, Jacob and Lee's ability to speak out, Calvin, who is also here tonight, his right to have religious views, or Lawrence speaking out against the entertainment establishment. We have all found ourselves under attack. And that's because GB News is the biggest threat to the establishment in decades. And they'll stop at nothing to destroy us. But we will keep fighting for you because we are a family here. You have been with me since day one on what has been a life-changing experience for me, and we have each other's back. The way you have understood what's been happening these past few days, and I've seen it, I've seen your messages, I've seen what you've had to say, and that has meant the world to me. I recognise I'm a polarising figure, and by speaking out in this way, I'm opening the gates of hell on my life. But social media has become a race to the bottom. Pile-ons are now the way to cancel a person. Our country is better than that. We must be. We must be. And that's why GB News exists. What we're trying to do here is something different, to give a voice to the long-forgotten people of the United Kingdom. And a great man reminded me today, people don't follow you because you're right. They follow you because you're real. So thank you for your support and the support of GB News. And now, the actual news with Polly Middlehoe.
Now, Dan's stance is fascinating, considering when he talked about another journalist that was being accused, that had rumors going around. Yeah, this is what he had to say about them. And this is only a few weeks ago, and he's been pushing this and pushing it hard. Quote, with the current rumors and accusations swirling around about Philip Schofield, why is he still on our screens? Why have ITV not suspended him pending an internal inquiry? I would have thought in this day and age that a mainstream broadcaster such as ITV ought to be seen to be doing all it can to deal with issues like this, find out where the truth lies, and in the meantime, suspend those the rumors concern. Now, I still want you to remember that this is a man that dedicated 5+ years, half a decade, to destroying Johnny Depp based on baseless accusations, and he also threw in the likes of not only Amber Heard, but also Eve Barlow, as they all tried to cancel anyone asking for evidence. That includes me, you, and so many others. Now, with that coming up, instead of saying, hey, due process, because those are your values, perhaps you should make them play by their rules and reap that listen and believe whirlwind. Why don't you tell me what you think about this, though? And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. Can't say that enough. Want to help out the channel, by the way? Links are in the description. Thank you, too, and I will see you soon.